Hello there. My name is Rick Snyder, and I wanted to create a video with some practical tools around this whole theme around leading in times of uncertainty. So that very much explains our current climate right now, where every hour things are changing around the whole world, around our response to the coronavirus, and also our own relationship with our fear and our anxiety and how do we actually navigate in the world in skillful ways, whether we're leading a team, maybe we might have a company out there, perhaps it's your family and you're leading your family, perhaps it's your community and your circle of friends. Whatever the case may be, this applies to all the above. So I want to speak to you about a couple ways to think about how to really lead from a well-resourced place versus a place of anxiety, because that makes a world of difference. And how do I know so much about anxiety? Well, before I was a business coach, I was actually a therapist, and I got to work with a lot of different populations for 10 years, and a lot of anxiety disorders and panic attacks, and actually helping people through that. Plus, I have a whole huge history in my family system around a lot of diagnosable anxiety disorders. And I know anxiety for myself. I know what it feels like to pick up on the collective fear and concern, as well as just my own natural anxieties that I feel around mortality, survival. Am I going to get enough toilet paper? All those types of things. And so it's something that we all have as human beings. It's one of the things that we're all sharing in this collective right now, that we're going through. And it's actually, I think, one of the hidden gifts in this whole tragedy or this whole epidemic is this idea that we're all in this together. No matter your gender, age, sexual orientation, nationality, ethnicity, political belief, doesn't matter. We're all in this together. And so, how do we learn to come together in order to lead and connect in a more authentic way that's actually in relationship with the earth, in relationship with each other, in relationship with ourselves? And to me, this is a great possible reminder and alarm clock that's going off right now. And let's see if we pay attention. And so that's something that I think about a lot in leading is how do I respond? How do I respond to chaos and to uncertainty and whatever dynamics are thrown at me? And that's really high level leading, is that I don't have all the answers. I don't know necessarily the right thing to say all the time, or what to do with my team or my family. And yet I'm at least available and I'm open as a first step to all the information coming to me and learning to listen to my intuition and learning to listen to my discernment of what needs to happen next. So, I want to walk you through a series of tools, a four-step series that's going to help you ideally lead from a place of resilience and being well resourced. So, let's go through that. So, the first step is really how do I connect with myself first? How do I really come back to center and even do like a systems check of what's going on? Because once again, when there's such a collective fear going on in the space, whether it's the media nonstop or just you can feel when you walk around the streets or a grocery store, you can feel there's a tension that's really there. And so, how do I let myself feel that, but not get completely overwhelmed by that also, where my system is totally hijacked and my amygdala is hijacked by all the collective fear? So, the first step is even just slowing down. And I don't see this happening enough out there from what I can sense and feel is everyone's reacting, hoarding toilet paper or other articles of, clothing or guns or whatever weird, bizarre stuff Americans do. And then around the world, just all kinds of fear-based reactivity and always checking online media, never unplugging. And that's hard on the system. It's really hard on the nervous system. It doesn't help because if we are stressed out, that actually lowers our immune system, which is the very thing we're needing to be able to ward off viruses. And so the first step is how can I have more moments of unplugging throughout the day? I'm not saying completely unplug where you're not paying attention to what's going on out there. It's great to check in with news sources and media, just not 24/7. And so, how do I have more moments where I'm unplugging, I'm connecting to self, and I'm slowing down? and I take a breath. And I just start to do a systems check. And even that brings me back to center. I can actually feel my body. I can feel the feet below me. I could feel my body in the chair, or if I'm standing, I could feel my whole system, my vertical line. And so just taking a few breaths there. And step one is really just coming into contact with myself. Because the more my nervous system is, I'm in relationship with my nervous system, the more I'm actually in direct contact with myself. And I'm not getting spun out by my thoughts, my concerns. I'm not externalizing my behaviors and fears. I'm actually taking a moment just to settle and check in. So, step one is just connecting to self, to really finding my center. Step two is really locating my anxiety, at least in this case. Chances are, if you're going to feel any emotion right now, it's going to be some sort of fear or anxiety, whether it's personally triggered or more collective, whatever it is. How can I locate anything that might be underneath the surface? There might be a lot of turbulence or rumbling. It might be loud. It might be really quiet. The key here is, how do I locate where in my body do I actually feel the core of my anxiousness or fear? Is it in my gut, for example? Is it in my throat? Am I noticing it in my upper chest? So when I do a systems check, where do I notice the epicenter of my anxiety? And once I locate that, I can even put a hand, let's say it's over my heart and my chest. I can actually put a hand right here and get in touch with my anxiety fully and directly. So I'm not running away from it. I'm not acting from it in terms of like overeating, which is something that I tend to do when I'm feeling anxious and I'm not stopping down to slowing to feel it. I'll tend to overeat, or I'll tend to think about some errands I can do or some action step I can take versus just slow down and feel. And that might be the only thing I need to do. So how do I take a moment and actually get into contact directly with my anxiety? And most anxious people, this is the number one thing they avoid, is getting in touch directly with that feeling, because it's so uncomfortable, right? You just want to do a behavior instead, or stay busy or distracted, which is the worst thing you can do, because it's still running your show underneath, right? And so how can I just slow down, take a few breaths, feel my anxiety, and get in direct contact with it? And take a few breaths. And so I invite you right now to locate, where's the epicenter of your most charged emotional state in your body. Maybe it's fear in your gut. Maybe you got some anger from coming back from the grocery store and feeling everyone else's territorialness, and you were kind of getting protector. Your protector was coming up. So whatever your most charged emotion, I'm calling it anxiety because it's so common right now. Find that in your body, locate it, take a few deep breaths, and be with it as long as you need to. And often this is the very medicine you're needing, is that part of you that just needs attention, that just needs contact. And imagine you being the parent for that part of you. So it's not that all of you is anxious, it's that part of you is anxious. This is very important, because when you fuse to anxiety, everything looks like from anxious from that place. When it's just that part of you, it's easier to locate and easier to manage. And you're also acknowledging not all of you is anxious. You have some perspective and some space with your anxiety. And that's really important. That gives you a lot more leadership space to also be with other people's anxiety and other people's intense emotions. So that's right. We first have to be with our own. So the second step is all about feeling what I need to feel until it passes. And sometimes it only takes a few minutes when I can directly be with my anxiety or my anger or my depression and sadness, whatever it might be. Maybe it takes longer. Maybe it takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But can I have the patience and love and self care to see that part of me and help bring some regulation and help bring some ease and soothe that part of me? So that's the whole second step. And that really lowers my nervous system. The third step is then, how can I be more well resourced? And this supports my nervous system also. So do I need to be out in nature and spend a little time in nature? Do I need to exercise? And whether it's I have a video gym thing that I do in my home, or I have some other exercise, I go for a little walk on the beach, whatever I do. Am I eating well? Am I sleeping enough? Um, am I getting enough contact with friends and social contact? Am I calling up and videoing my favorite friends, colleagues, whatever it might be? Am I, if I have people I live with, am I getting my contact needs met? You know, if I have my spouse, my partner, are we connecting? Are we cuddling? Like those kind of things really lower the nervous system. Also, if I have a pet, that can be an amazing way to lower your blood pressure and your nervous system. So even looking at, I don't know if you know this, but they've done research, even looking at fish in a fish tank lowers your blood pressure. So if you have anything like that, that can be a very good resource for you. And step number 3 is looking at your outer environment and your behaviors and exercises, what can also support your nervous system. And then finally, number 4 is now you're ready to reach out to others. Now you're ready to branch out and be a resource for others and really lead. And now you're coming from a place of poise, of confidence, of groundedness, because your cup is full, because you're well resourced. This is the analogy of the oxygen mask going over your face first before you attend to the people next to you. If you're not well resourced, you're going to be coming from an anxious place trying to help everybody else. And that might be helpful to some degree. And in emergency situations, okay, understandable, but that's not sustainable for yourself or for others in the long term period, especially for you. So, this is what it's all about: to be well resourced, make the time to slow down, connect with yourself, feel what's going on, actually feel it through, support yourself with all the necessary diet, health, good food, good sleep, good surroundings that are going to support you. And then finally, you're ready to be of service. You're ready to see how you can reach out to friends and family. If you're running your business, how can you have a regular check in with your team where you can actually go around and see how you're doing in just the first 5-10 minutes? Go around with everybody and see how are you doing right now, given the circumstances of today. What are you needing, if anything? And actually making that kind of contact. And so this is where we can extend our gifts and our resources and our talent. Because right now, our world is needing embodied leadership. We're needing servant leadership. And it only is powerful if we are taking care of ourselves and are well resourced first. The more that our nervous system can sync up with ourself and our breath, the more we can tune into what's going on around us and be better able to respond, not just react. That's the whole difference. So I hope this 4-part series was helpful for you, and a reminder to take some time to unplug throughout the day, take some time to check in and feel what you need to feel, make sure you're well resourced, and then how can you be of service to others from this place. So please feel free to share this with as many people as you like, that this would be helpful for. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can always reach out to me at rick@invisible-edge-llc.com. Happy to see how me and my team can be of a resource for you in your continued leadership, professionally and personally. Thank you so much. And together, we're going to get through this. We got this, folks. Let's do this together here.